Good afternoon. Please be seated. It is my privilege to convene the 2016 diploma ceremony for the Case Western Reserve University School of Law, where we will present diplomas to our graduates whose degrees were conferred by University President Barbara Snyder this morning. We also welcome back those graduates who received their degrees this past January and August, who have returned to campus today to join us in these commencement celebrations. You will find the program for this ceremony on page 46 of your commencement program book. It is now my honor to present one of our two deans of the School of Law, Michael Scharf.
Thank you, Dean Hill. Good afternoon. We are a unique law school with co-deans, and as Dean Hill said, I'm Dean Michael Scharf, and my role today is to kick things off. Later, you'll be hearing from Dean Jessica Berg, the other co-dean, who will introduce our commencement speaker and provide closing remarks. It is my pleasure to welcome all of you, faculty, colleagues, families, friends, and members of the graduating class to our commencement ceremony in the 124th year of this great law school. In a few minutes, you'll be hearing from the president of our Law Alumni Association and from our commencement speaker. There's one other special guest on the stage that I'd like to specifically introduce. Seated behind me is Ambassador Rosemary McCarney, our first exchange student 40 years ago, who went on to teach at our law school and is now Canada's ambassador to the United Nations. Ambassador McCarney received a university honorary degree this morning in recognition of her extraordinary accomplishments. She is an inspiration to us all. We teased her this morning that she had special powers like Elsa from Frozen, because coming from Canada, she was here a month ago and there was a late April snowstorm, and then here she was again, and you saw what things were like. But we won't blame you for that. In fact, we'll celebrate you. I'd also like to give a shout out to two alumni leaders who had planned to be with us today, but unfortunately could not make it. They will be watching the video of the ceremony, which we'll post on YouTube in about a week. And any of you who are interested in seeing this over and over again, you're welcome to do that as well. The first is Byron Krantz, the chairman of the law school's visiting committee. Byron led the effort to raise the money for the conditional bar prep scholarship program that I hope all of you will take advantage of. Last year, 91% of the students who did the required work to receive the scholarship passed the bar exam, leading to a dramatic increase in our overall bar pass rate. The second is Fred Watkins, one of the most devoted of our alumni donors. Thanks to Fred and thousands of other generous alums, our law school has raised $38 million in the first 8 years of its current 10-year campaign, and we have increased our goal from $32 million to $42 million. Nearly all of that money goes to support scholarships like the ones many of you received. Class of 2016, you have left an indelible mark on this law school. Let's get you to exercise a little bit. Please stand up if you were an editor of one of our law journals. Please stand up and stay standing. Now, stand up if you were a member of one of our moot court or mock trial teams. Stay up, stay up. We're going to get everybody up. And stand up if you participated in one of our clinics. And stand up if you were involved in one of our other extracurricular activities or organizations. And stand up if you are from a foreign country. All right, everybody stay standing. That should be all of our students in the first 12 rows before me. Now stay up for a few minutes. This class before you has won awards at national and international moot court, mock trial, and essay competitions. You've edited and written law review articles that have the potential to improve the law. And in our clinics, labs, and practicums, you've worked on cases that have changed lives. Through the SBA Class Gift Program, you have contributed at the greatest percentage of any class in the 124 years of our law school. You have brought positive attention to our school, and during your 3 years or other years here, the law school has risen significantly in the rankings. Class of 2016, in a few minutes, the 96 JDs, 5 SJDs, 60 LLMs, and the first graduate of our new Master in Patent Practice program will receive their diplomas and officially become graduates, alumni of Case Western Reserve University School of Law. Parents, grandparents, siblings, significant others, and friends, we want to honor you today as well. Your love, support, and encouragement were vital to our students' success, culminating in this wonderful occasion. Graduates, let's turn toward the audience and give your friends and family a standing Case Western ovation. And stay standing for just a few more moments. There are also the many members of the Case Western Reserve Law School community that have assisted you along your journey. They wisely admitted you to our law school, they fixed your computers, provided library services, counseled and advised you, and helped you obtain internships, externships, fellowships, and jobs. Even today, they are stationed around this auditorium, working behind the scenes to ensure the smooth running of this ceremony. We thank all of you. And finally, let us take a moment to recognize the tremendous faculty of this law school who sit behind me on this stage. This year, the CISC study ranked our faculty 25th best in the nation in terms of scholarly impact. Our faculty members have taken you under their wings. They've taught and mentored you. They've passed along their passion for the law. From them, you have learned to think, problem solve, and persuasively argue like a lawyer. Let us now, as they are assembled here together on this stage, thank them as well. This is a little bit of a bittersweet occasion in that it also marks the retirement of 3 of our most beloved faculty members. Professor Eric Jensen, who taught here for 33 years, Professor Ken Margolis, who also taught here for 33 years, and he co-directed our clinic, and he served as our inaugural Associate Dean for Experiential Education. And Professor John Enton, who taught here for 32 years and served as our longtime Associate Dean for Academic Affairs. Now, Eric's across campus at his daughter's graduation. Ken's on the West Coast. But we do have John Enton here, and I'd love you to please join me in showing our appreciation to this extraordinary educator. All right, you may be seated now. Graduates, through your hard work and perseverance, you have attained one of the most powerful degrees in education. And your timing could not be better, as the job market has really begun to heat up this year. I'm thrilled to report that a much, much higher percentage of you have jobs at this point than in past years. And within 10 months, within 10 months, nearly every one of you will be launched on your career. You are well equipped to succeed and ultimately to be leaders in the field. My colleagues and I are excited to watch you on your journey, and we will help you whenever we can. We want you to stay in touch, to share with us the stories of your first experiences, your challenges, and your glories. But for now, on behalf of the faculty and the proud profession which you have joined, I say well done and congratulations. It's now my pleasure to turn the program over to Joan Gross, class of 1976, the president of our law school's Alumni Association.
Thank you, Dean Scharf. Good afternoon, class of 2016. Well, law school is over. I'm certain that you find this hard to believe. So much has happened to you since your first day. I want you to think about how much you've changed since then. You have developed more self-confidence. You have learned to analyze issues, even non-legal issues, in a more logical and precise manner. Your vocabulary has increased. Your writing skills and your reading skills have improved. You have become more articulate. You have become more poised. For those of you in our LLM and SJD programs, you have developed an expertise in your chosen field of law. For those of you from other countries, you have learned a great deal about U.S. culture and our legal system. These changes that you see in yourselves are only the beginning. As you grow as an attorney, or in whatever field that you choose, you can be certain that all of the skills that you acquired in law school will grow with you. These skills will serve you well whether you enter the private practice of law, practice law for a corporation, a nonprofit, or a governmental entity, or embark upon a non-legal career. These skills are invaluable, and they are the direct result of your hard work and perseverance during law school. As mentioned by Dean Scharf, my name is Joan Gross, and I am the president of the Law Alumni Association Board. The board represents the Law School Alumni Association, and as soon as you receive your degrees, all of you will become members of the Alumni Association. As president, I am pleased to welcome each of you. The board consists of 34 alumni from around the world. Board members work with the law school to assist with student recruitment, to mentor law students and young lawyers, to assist with job placement, and in general, to support the law school both publicly and financially. We find our work to be very satisfying. If you are interested in joining the board, or if you would like to become more involved with your law school in any other way, please contact the law school's Office of Alumni Relations and Development. I encourage each of you, no matter where you reside, to become involved with your law school. I want to remind you that our annual Alumni Association meeting and alumni and faculty dinner will take place this year on Friday evening, October 14th, at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in downtown Cleveland. During the evening, alumni awards will be presented, and you will be provided with hors d'oeuvres, dinner, an open bar, full access to the Hall of Fame, as well as the opportunity to network with your fellow law school alumni. You've already received a save the date card for this event, and I hope that all of you will be able to join us. We expect to have a great time. I want to thank you for your attention, and I would ask everyone in the audience to join me in congratulating the class of 2016.
On behalf of the faculty and staff of Case Western Reserve University School of Law, I congratulate each of you on your graduation. It has been an honor to have all of you as students at our law school. We are very proud of your outstanding achievements, both in and out of the classroom. We are confident you will excel in your professional careers and will continue to contribute a great deal to your communities. I have the honor of presenting the Order of the Coif. The Order of the Coif originated in 15th century English Inns of Court to honor the best barristers. It was started in this country by a handful of law schools over 100 years ago to honor the top students in each class. We honor those members of the class of 2016 who are graduating in the top 10% of their class. When I call your name, please stand and remain standing. Please hold your applause until I call the last name. Gabrielle Elizabeth Foyer. Amy Elizabeth Gilbert. McDaniel Mortimer Kelly. Ellen Rachel Kurtner. Julia Nicole Miller. Nathan Paul Nasrallah. Mitchell Randolph Prentice. Sarah Elizabeth Stula. Joseph Henry Walsh. And Carrie Elizabeth Werner. Congratulations to all of you. Please refer to pages 48 and 49 of your commencement program for a listing of those graduates receiving their degree with a specialty concentration. Pages 50 through 52 list those graduates who have been recognized for their academic and extracurricular excellence with special honors and awards. Also, the program insert contains a listing of those students graduating with honors. One award included in the program insert is the Cum Studiis Tumoribus Principes Award, which is presented by the Society of Benchers to a member of the graduating class who is eminent in academic work and character. This year's award recipient is Ellen Rachel Kurtner. Ellen, please stand. Congratulations. It is also my privilege to recognize the winner of the Pro Bono Graduating Student of the Year Award, an annual award that the school started last year. Annual so far, I guess. This award recognizes the student who completed the greatest number of pro bono hours during their time in law school. The School of Law established this program to encourage students to use their education and professional training to benefit the community, particularly underserved communities. This year's recipient is R. Mitchell Wilkowski. Mitchell, please stand. Congratulations. Finally, it is also my privilege to recognize this year's Teacher and Administrator of the Year awards, both of which are chosen by a ballot of the graduating class. The Teacher of the Year award recognizes a faculty member for his or her outstanding teaching and service. This year's recipient is Professor Jonathan Enton. Professor Enton, please stand. Please give a round of applause. Congratulations. Finally, the Dennis J. Jenks Memorial Award for Administrator of the Year recognizes an administrator or staff member for his or her service and dedication. This year's recipient is Sarah Polly. Dean Polly, please stand. Congratulations to all of you. McDaniel Mack Kelly is the outgoing president of the Student Bar Association and our next speaker. He's going to also announce some additional awards. So Mac, please come up to the stage.
Thank you. In addition to some of the awards that Dean Hill just presented, it's my honor to recognize the recipients of several other awards. Each year, the graduating students honor through the School of Law Leadership Award a student or students who have made significant contributions to student organizations and fostered the community within the school. This year, we have 4 winners. Please stand when I call your name. Maral Arjamandi. Ike Ikeke. Emily Everden. And Julia Liston. The Student of the Year Award is given to the graduating student who, in the judgment of classmates, best exemplifies outstanding scholarship and excellence in extracurricular activities. This year's Student of the Year Award recipient is Julia Liston. The Martin Luther King Jr. Award is given to a student who, in the judgment of classmates, follows in character and conduct the spirit of the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. This year, the award goes to Ike KK. Awards for community service are given to an individual and an organization that have made the strongest contribution to public service from our law school. We have all chosen the legal profession, which is a service career. The law school recognizes that this class has continued a strong tradition of showing a commitment to helping those who are less fortunate than we are. The volunteer work in which many of you have engaged is an inspiration to all of us here today. This year's award for community service for an individual chosen by a ballot of the graduating class goes to Ellen Kurtner. And this year's award for community service for an organization, also chosen by a ballot of the graduating class, is Big Buddies, led for the past 2 years by Amy Ledig and Ellen Van Cleef. Please stand. Congratulations to everyone else who also contributed to Big Buddies. We made it. There's about 100 JDs here, almost 80 LLMs, and 5 people who after today will have the title doctor. And we've grown through our tenure here, both as individuals and a class. We've moved past taking 3 a.m. naps under the escalator at the Browns Stadium, and we've spent long hours in the library competing with snails, a term of art to describe students not actually in law school, over our coveted study rooms. And we've had some cultural clashes too, from getting over the rice steamers in the women's restroom to determining who is actually allowed to listen to hip-hop music. And through all of this, we have emerged in solidarity as graduates of this law school. Certainly, we've left our mark on this institution. As Dean Scharf mentioned moments ago, for our class gifts, we raised over $4,500, including matching contributions from the class of 1958, and representing participation by over 50% of both the JD and LLM classes, far exceeding the participation rates of previous classes. We pushed for many changes throughout the school, and we finally convinced the administration that hosting wine events in the upper rotunda was probably not the greatest idea. Our classmates have also made contributions to our community, both on a local and national level. Some have gained national recognition in their efforts to develop the future of marijuana law. Some have worked through our legal clinics to ensure defense for people facing criminal prosecution, to help keep people sheltered in the face of eviction, to build partnerships with hospitals in order to address the root causes of patient illnesses, and even to protect intellectual property and encourage future innovation. Many others, such as in Big Buddies, have served as role models and teachers for children in the community who may otherwise not have had any positive examples in their lives. And here we are, somehow finding ourselves with the faith that people will pay us to know things, and clad in our obnoxious penchant for making jokes about the Constitution. We know they're not funny, but we're impressed that we thought of them, so we're going to say them anyway. But we're graduates, eminent lawyers. Of course, where would we be without those of you who have put up with all of our tired eye rolls as you tell us something that was probably important, or listened to us as we read you a 5-page statute that we were somehow excited about, or forgave us when we skipped your birthday or some holiday dinner to read something like Corbin on Contracts. And sure, maybe we come off a bit condescending at times. That means we talk down to people. But we appreciate everything you've done for us, and are ever grateful that you've stuck by us this long. So to the class of 2016, well done. To the rest of you, thank you. I'm excited to see what's next.
Thank you, Mac, and good luck. It is our great pleasure to have Richard North Patterson here today as our 2016 commencement speaker. He is a 1971 alum of our school, an award-winning author of best-selling novels and the 2012 recipient of the Silver Bullet Award from the International Thriller Writers Association. Mr. Patterson is a member of the Law School Society of Benchers and a recipient of the Case Western Reserve University President's Award for Distinguished Alumni and the President's Award for Excellence. After graduating from our law school, Mr. Patterson served as an Assistant Attorney General for the state of Ohio, a trial attorney for the Securities and Exchange Commission in both Washington, D.C. and San Francisco, and was the SEC's liaison to the Watergate Special Prosecutor. He was later a partner in the San Francisco office of McCutcheon, Doyle, Brown, and Enerson. He retired from the practice of law in 1993 to devote himself to his writing. Overall, the worldwide sales of his 20 novels exceed 25 million copies. Mr. Patterson has authored numerous international best-selling novels, often addressing complex and controversial social issues, such as gun violence, reproductive rights, capital punishment, international human rights, espionage, and nuclear terrorism. A prolific writer and social commentator, he also publishes articles on politics, law, foreign policy, and literature in the London Times, the Wall Street Journal, USA Today, the Washington Post, the Los Angeles Times, the Boston Globe, the San Francisco Chronicle, and the Huffington Post, among others. And his advocacy is not limited to written words. He served on the boards of the National Partnership for Women and Families, the Family Violence Prevention Fund, Penn Center West, the Brady Campaign to Prevent Gun Violence, and is a member of the Advisory Council of J Street. Please join us in welcoming one of our most distinguished graduates, Richard North Patterson, our 2016 commencement speaker.
Well, first, I'd like to congratulate Michael and Jessica for all that they have done for our school. So it's been great. Thank you. Beyond that, I'd like to begin with a promise. I'll try to remember that a commencement speaker is like the decedent at a funeral. Your presence is absolutely essential, but no one expects you to say very much. Nonetheless, it's a great pleasure to be here, all the more so because I wasn't exactly counting on it when the law school unleashed me in the world 45 years ago. When I told one of my classmates I was coming here to speak, he asked me in terms of wonderment whether I was receiving an honorary degree. My answer was that my law professors thought they'd given me one in 1971. Just goes to show if you live long enough, anything can happen. I'm also put in mind of the less than promising start to my second career, my first novel. My publisher printed 5,000 copies, many with 35 pages missing, creating somewhat more of a mystery than I'd intended. I learned how easy it is to hide 5,000 books from a populace of 250 million people. Well, I asked my publisher if we couldn't print a few more copies. She answered, "We're going to tease them a little." To which I responded, "Couldn't we at least try foreplay?" She was not amused. Then there was my next novel when I resolved to write some truly authoritative sex scenes, and the only one who noticed was my mom. Now, this is true. My mom called me up and after some hesitance said, "Well, I really like your novel." Detecting a certain tone of maternal reserve, I asked, "What's wrong, Mom?" "Nothing really," she replied. "I just wondered why that couple," referring to the male and female protagonist, "made love so much." "Gee, Mom," I told her, "I don't think they made love all that much. To me, they're just a typical urban couple." Well, she was so alarmed by that revelation that for the next 6 months, whenever she rang me up, she asked, "Is this a good time to call?" So I want to give these year's graduates a word of warning. Your parents may never be as proud of you as they are at this moment. And a promise that when F. Scott Fitzgerald said there are no second acts in Americans' lives, he was dead wrong. Well, I'm already also confident that you're prepared for disapproval as well as for acclaim. For one of the ironies of our profession is as we become more central to the functioning of our society, we face ever more distrust or even disdain. Indeed, I've based a fairly handsome second career on the notion that society may sometimes look on us with dislike, but it can't ever seem to look away. So I want to offer you this word of consolation. People may not always love us, but you will never, ever see a television series entitled The Young Accountants. Anyhow, I'd be happy to continue in this vein, but unfortunately for me, I'm required to share a few more serious thoughts, and regrettably for you, I have a few. The first is that we do stand at the center of society, and this is no small matter. As more of the institutions that formed us, our communities, our places of worship, the family itself, seem to have lost their power to bind us, the law, for better or worse, has taken their place. We mediate disputes, uphold the Constitution, and define the rights and responsibilities of institutions and individuals. We pursue the idea of fairness in a country which is trying to extend the ideal of fairness to women, minorities, the poor, and those of a different sexual orientation. We write laws, and sometimes our arguments make new law. The courts in which we practice have become the arbiter of some of the great political, social, and moral controversies of our times, from Brown versus Board to Roe versus Wade, from Watergate to gay marriage. Yet we deal as well with the individual tragedies of families gone wrong: divorce, domestic violence, neglected children, and wayward teens who themselves become the victims or the violent. And now, around the world, we attempt to define and to punish crimes in war and crimes against humanity. As American lawyers, we have every right to be proud of our profession. Take us away, and the Bill of Rights itself would lose its best advocates, its most zealous defenders, and ultimately its meaning. This much we ask for, but there is much we did not. So it's not with arrogance, but a sense of humility and even wonderment that we sometimes find ourselves as substitute teachers, surrogate parents, or friends of last resort. And this from a society which sometimes resents us for how much it needs us, which seems to blame us for defining its own responsibilities and obligations as whatever is allowable at the far edge of the law, and in which people seem to dislike all lawsuits but the one they want to bring, and every lawyer but the one they need. In this environment, we enjoy the hope of challenge, excitement, material comfort, respect, a life at the heart of things, and the certainty of controversy and temptation, both moral and financial. The question is how we prepare ourselves for all of this, how we honor our profession and do honor within it. One answer, I think, is that we must recognize that our career has both public and private dimensions, and that very often it comes down to a sometimes unfashionable, always indispensable concept, character. My friend John McCain, who knows something about this subject, cites the word of the 19th century evangelist Dwight Moody: character is who you are in the dark, not who you pretend to be to others or for acclaim, but rather those qualities in which you determine must be an indispensable part of your essential self. The best lawyers I know are also the best men and women, those who are compassionate and ethically scrupulous, those who place their clients' legitimate demands above their own, but place their own integrity above their clients' illegitimate demands, and on whose word their clients, their legal adversaries, and the courts can rely. In short, those who see the law as a moral system which demands zealous advocacy and wise counsel within the rules of honorable conduct. But there's also the question of a lawyer's public character. The obligation to speak out for our profession was unfairly attacked or just plain misunderstood, and to help extend its legitimate benefit to those most in need. Now, I'm not sensitive about the tragic plight of lawyers. If there ever becomes a time when America's deepest social problem is that people are mean to us, our country can rest easy. But there are times, countless times, when defending our profession serves the greater good. Take the Bill of Rights. It's a document that is widely honored in the abstract. And yet, I dare say, in any given year, great chunks of it would probably fail a plebiscite. No one, not even the ACLU, suffers from this disconnect as much as the criminal defense bar. Too many forget that the criminal lawyer serves dual objectives, not just to ensure the defendant justice, but to uphold the constitutional guarantees against such threats to justice as coerced confessions, and against such threats to decency as unchecked invasions of our homes and our privacy. Too often the result may seem to non-lawyers the opposite of justice, the acquittal of the guilty. It is our obligation to remind them, as the spate of DNA cases has shown, that our system of justice all too frequently convicts the innocent, not least in death penalty cases. It is our absolute duty to remind them that the rights that some think protect only those whose lives they may find alien, if abandoned, will cheapen the lives of us all. But there's a second impulse vital to the public character of our profession: volunteerism, something very much in the spirit of this school in your class. What Robert Kennedy told another generation is equally true today. You've been lifted into a tiny sunlit island while all around you lies a dark ocean of human misery, injustice, violence, and fear. History will judge you, and as the years pass, you will ultimately judge yourself on the extent to which you have used your gifts to lighten and enrich the lives of your fellow men. In your lives, not presidents or leaders, is the future of your world and the fulfillment of the best qualities of your own spirit. The more important our profession becomes to society, the more vital that perspective is. But with notable and honorable exceptions, our actions have not always kept pace. We have seen serious cutbacks in public funding for our legal services to the disadvantaged. Put simply, the gap between the fortunate and the less fortunate has widened to a degree which now challenges our humanity. The poor are far less popular and visible than they were 30 years ago, and my former law partners now tell me that it is far less common now that an interviewee asks about the firm's pro bono program. Now, I'm not naive. I can recall very well the pressures to make a name for myself, to support my family, and to do the job I was hired for. I know that your time, professional and personal, is precious, and that no one ever died wishing they'd spent more time at the office. But I also know our profession's future commitment to equal justice is in your hands, and that anyone who helps a stranger improve a small portion of his life also enriches her own. So how does a young lawyer make a living and still provide legal services to the poor or to the unpopular? The answer must be personal. For some, may be giving free tax advice to a senior citizens group. For others, it may be telling your local legal aid office that you'll handle one referral per year, or joining the bar's legal services program to help mentor a woman in crisis, or assist in a homeless program, or convincing your firm to take on a pro bono case, or helping programs which increase the numbers of volunteer lawyers. But there is one more challenge I implore you to undertake: to fight against a politicization which is eroding the integrity of our judiciary and of the law itself. Here I can think of no better example than the Supreme Court's 2010 ruling in Citizens United. It is bad enough that our candidates are forced to spend countless hours raising money or courting lobbyists who can raise it in bundles, giving a place at the table when laws are drafted and policies are set. Worse, thanks to a 5-4 Republican majority on the Supreme Court, corporations and super PACs are now deemed to have First Amendment rights to spend unlimited amounts of money to influence campaigns, often from undisclosed donors. In a blatant act of judicial activism, the Court in Citizens United reached far beyond the issues presented by the case itself or by any prior precedent, striking down campaign finance laws which limited the sway of special interests. The Court's ruling ignores what is obvious to anyone familiar with life in Washington or any state capital: that money not only buys access, but outcomes which change our daily lives. The result is an orgy of spending, which has altered our political landscape and which, to be blunt, has been protected from legislative limitations by the Republican majority in Congress. Had this been done to benefit the Democrats, it would be no different. And part of this tragedy is the impact on our courts. When the Supreme Court becomes the agent of our most partisan forces in our politics, and justices are nominated to carry out their agenda, it erodes the credibility of all courts. It is one thing to have a judicial philosophy that guides a judge's appraisal of the law, but when a closed mind and a rigid and partisan ideology are prerequisites for appointment to our highest court, and too often to federal courts in general, something very precious is lost. Yet more and more of our judicial aspirants advance their prospects by aligning with ideological groups like the Federalist Society, which see our legal system as an instrument for practicing politics by other means, promoting their party and furthering its agenda. If there is any doubt of this, one need only look at Supreme Court's recent rulings, a gift of the same 5 judges upholding voter suppression laws which limit the electorate to favor the party which appointed them, supposedly to prevent voter fraud for which there is absolutely no evidence. It is not for nothing that the media covers the decisions of federal judges by routinely noting the president who appointed them. Now, I realize that this last minute or so has not been full of feel-good remarks, but I make them because I feel good about you, including your commitment to a legal system which preserves the rule of law. Many countries are, or purport to be, democracies. Very few have a judiciary which, by tradition, has been as pivotal and as principled as ours. It is now your task to help preserve it. I can think of no better way to capture what's at stake here for our country, our profession, and for you, than to quote an essay by Joseph Epstein. We do not choose to be born. We do not choose our parents, or our time or country of birth, or the circumstances of our upbringing. We do not, or at least most of us, choose the time or conditions of our death. But within all this choicelessness, we do choose how we shall live. We decide and we choose, and so we give definition to our lives. I congratulate all of you on all that you've accomplished as students and all that you will choose to accomplish as lawyers. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard, for the inspiring words. We are now ready for the presentation of diplomas.
Deans Berg and Scharf, faculty, and honored guests, it is my great privilege to present the class of 2016 graduates who have received the degree of Juris Doctor. Those graduates who have earned their degrees with honors can be identified by the honor cords over their lapels: gold for summa cum laude, silver for magna cum laude, and white for cum laude. Jonathan Osaromensa Ihir. Caitlin Annette Appleby. Maral Arjamandi. Terry S. Armendariz. Julia Lynn Aromatorio. Max E. Babuder. Kayla Ann Baker. Lindley Ann Bassett. Timothy Ryan Beerer. Alexander William Brown. Brittany P. Brown. Jeffrey Cow. Ashlyn Christine Carroll. Daniel J. Cheng. Stephen Earl Condon. Adakelti Hebenam Desta. Ikechiku Namdi Ikeke. David Anthony Elias. Patrick Michael Evans. Emily A. Everton. Jonathan Joseph Fagan. Gabrielle Elizabeth Foyer. Diana Lynn Fernalzik. Sheila D. Fowler. Mary Colleen Geib. Amir Golizada. Amy Elizabeth Gilbert. Noah Shea Goldberg. Brendan James Goodwine. Karen Lauren Green. Kevin Mark Gross. Amira Hyder. Kathleen Suzanne Harvey. Megan Eileen Helton. Michael Patrick Hess, Jr. Christopher Anthony Wren. Sarah Elizabeth Hutnick. Aaron S. James. Laura D. Youngrice. Aaron Southley Kearney. Theodore Luca Kelebay. McDaniel Mortimer Kelly. Zabe Khan. Ellen Rachel Kurtner. Rashmi Priya Krishnappa. Alexis Lee Krivashik. Julia Faith Kurtz. Kristen Michelle Lees. Amanda Elizabeth Ledig. Amber Nicole Lewis. Julia Yarnell Liston. Matthew Warren Martin. John G. Marvar. Sean E. McIntyre. Taylor Marie Mick. Julia Nicole Miller. Matthew Charles Moldovani. Catherine Alice Mozinski. Nathan Paul Nasrallah. Jason Dorval Norwood. Mara P. Nuno. Yorgos Papadopoulos. Stephen R. Peratt. Richard Tad Pinkston. Mitchell Randolph Prentice. Scott J. Puller. Anna Victoria Quinones Barr. Shaka S. Sadler. Anthony R. Santiago. Brendan Scott Saslow. Joshua Michael Sells. Shazia Singh. Sarah Ann Smoter. Sarah Elizabeth Stula. Alpha Sar Taylor. Joseph Carl Tomino. Anna Marinkovich Tyler. Ellen Grace Van Cleve. Joseph Henry Walsh. David Joshua Walters. Bradley Allen Winkowitz. Carrie Elizabeth Werner. Andrew John Wilbur. R. Mitchell Wilkowski. Wayne Allen Williams. Ryan C. Yarrell. Caitlin T. Yance. Hui Ji. Lan Fei Ju. It is also my privilege to present our first graduate who is receiving the Master of Arts degree from our new program in patent practice, Deepa Mishra.
Deans Berg and Dean Scharf, I have the distinct honor and pleasure of introducing to you the 5 successful candidates for the Doctor of Juridical Science, represented by their 2 years of immersion in work and their successful completion of a thesis. So first is Nayef Shafi Al-Hajiri. Sharifa Ahmad Al-Muhana. Shaheen Iri Kirdam. Fahad Faisal Mubarak. What did it say? Swo Yushang Anderson. And now, Deans, it's my pleasure to introduce to you those successful candidates for the degree of Master of Laws. Those who achieved the honor with honors will be seen by the cord they wear on their robes. The first candidate is Khalid Alashkari. Turki Al-Hazimi. Mohammed Al-Muteri. Sadr Al-Sultan. Nachia Ariatu Wong. Miguel Aviles Martin. Sao Yu Chen. Chong Sing Kai. Chen Ji Hao. Chen Yushun. Chong Xiao Yu. Chotawan Chothila Satyan. Chaipat Chiwana Ramsi. Dong Zijian. Ding Chuen Yue. Mustafa Durmush. Thibaut Fava. Feng Ling Long. Gao Kai Wen. Sylvia Garcia Ausi. Emra Gaduk. He Fan. Huang Chao. Huang Yi Tsung. Huang Yuefan. Metawi Kanchana Sika. Kim Dong-soo. Denis Sergeyevich Koleshnikov. Li Gan Chao. Li Yang. Li Yang Inyen. Victoria Lichet. Liu Si-young. Lu Ying. Lu Yuan Tin. Ma Yang Mei. Mei Feng Hum. Meng Jin Yi. Pong Boa. Chin Jia. Per Ratana Paisan. Matilda Sadia. Tan Shu Yue. Trin Guang. Wang Xuan. Wang Sijia. Wei Qi. Wu Mengyuan. Xu Long Yan. Xu Yue. Yan Ruochen. Yang Su. Yang Yin Yi. Yu Ke. Zhang Shuai. Zhang Tai. Yao Jianjun. Zhong Di. Ladies and gentlemen, please join the deans and my colleagues in wishing congratulations to all of the graduates of the class of 2016.
Okay, we have reached the close of our celebration. In a moment, the recessional will leave the building. We would appreciate if all of our guests would allow the faculty and graduates to exit the auditorium before you leave your seats. As you begin this next phase of your life, remember to take a deep breath and believe in yourself. You will not get to choose all that happens to you, but you will get to choose how you react to those experiences. As Abraham Lincoln is thought to have said, we can complain because rose bushes have thorns, or rejoice because thorn bushes have roses. With these final words, I now declare an end to our 2016 commencement. Thank you and good luck.